exporting the common JS modules, we have two ways. One is module.exports, and another way is exports and passing whatever attribute export clause we are going to pass. We can now to understand this. Let's assume whatever function is going to be exported, it's going to be wrapped inside this module wrapper, and which will be having these exports require module file name and directory name. These two are basically the absolute file locations, and exports and module that exports basically we can assume it to point to the to reference to the same thing. So basically we'll be having the same result, but it's recommended that whenever we modify module that exports, uh, export is also modified, but the developers assume that whenever we modify exports, module exports is not modified. So it's better to use module that exports. So let's run the file by using one of the methods. Here we can see that we are using the require method instead of import, and while exporting it, we use module that exports. And if you're going to run this file, you will have this same result. So we have the same result here. Alternatively, what we can do is instead of using the module exports, if you're going to use exports exports keyword, and then you're going to export the function export a function, then what we'll need to do is we'll need to access that function instead of using this welcome. Here welcome is not a reference to that function. Welcome is not a function. Here welcome is basically whatever module we're importing it, and using that welcome keyword we'll be able to access whatever constant or whatever function we have exported. Here, since we exported the anonymous function which is referenced by this w, here we are accessing the same thing by using .w, and here this w will pass this variable, and whatever variable is passed here will be printed high. So if you're going to run this file, we'll be getting the same result. So we just did into different ways. So let me summarize again what we just saw in this tutorial. So what we did first is we imported and exported ECMAScript module. We did it in two ways: default export and named export. For default export, we'll be having export, then followed by a default keyword, and the other way is you're using the named export. We'll be passing it into curly braces. And while importing it, what we did was we did the same thing. We didn't for default export we didn't use any curly braces, but for named export, which is also known as the syntax sugar, we imported it using the curly braces. And one thing we saw is we can import multiple import clauses. So for CommonJS, let me summarize what we did. We used basically two ways of exporting it. One was model exports, and another way was using export followed by whatever function referencing a variable or constant we are passing it. And we did import in the similar manner. When we exported a function, we just called a function, and when we exported a module, we access the function using that module. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching.